data mining, particularly in the advertising, in the marketing area, that AI will be very significantly applied. And you will see that in financial areas, you may no longer need those financial advisors, and some of the work artificial intelligence can do a lot better. So you will see. I would believe that it's going to be applied wherever it's possible, almost in every aspect of our life.
Eli, actually, Winston gave us some example of application of AI, and he talks about the driverless car, and he talks about the financial sector. So what do you think are the most promising sectors that AI technology can be applied to?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, so our company for technology product are involved in AI. So we believe that for now, the next maybe 5 to 10 years, every machine, every computer, every device will be connected to the cloud, and they will be able to talk to you. The more natural, instead of like touching the screen or using apps. So the voice AI technology are able to do that, and that will be very common. So you start to see that in smartwatch, in smartphone, in maybe smart cars, smart home device. You can talk to them. Another very common application scenario would be computer vision. So today, if you see oftentimes in airports and or other places, the camera itself not only are able to capture the image, but they're able to recognize a specific person from like millions of data, like immediately. Those are enabled by AI, the machine learning, big data analysis to match a specific image with the data in the cloud. So that's also a very critical and very common user scenario.
And you talk about the application of AI technology in financial services. Of course, you are experienced in an investor. But as an investor, do you think AlphaGo or AI could also master the game of investing? After all, the data on listed companies are easily accessible, and if AI program such as AlphaGo is to be deployed in the stock market, what would be the future for the investors?
I think it's highly possible, even though I don't think the DeepMind team is intending to apply AlphaGo immediately in the area of investing. They seem to be most interested in targeting at healthcare as the next step for AlphaGo. But in general, in theory, AlphaGo is a general purpose learning machine, and as long as you feed it with enough data on investing, and it is possible, then they can, learn and improve their skills in investing. But in terms of when you say master the game of investing, very few human beings actually can be said to have mastered the game of investing.
Exactly.
So I think AlphaGo definitely has some kind of, areas to apply certain skills.
But there are some specific, areas in the investing, in investment. For example, trading in any asset has an element of social behavior to it, and two human counterparties come to a mutually agreed quantity and price, which is sometimes affected by their emotions. And how can an algorithm sense the counterparty's emotions and then value the emotions, thus leading to taking a position in the exchange?
Well, first of all, the emotion in the trading process is not necessarily an advantage. I think it's probably more often a disadvantage than an advantage. And there are definitely, ways to identify the emotions. Like you see, AIs are now making extremely fast progress in identifying facial expressions. They are capable of recognizing the emotions on human faces. And just by sheer data, when you see dramatic swing of prices and quantities, then you can pretty much tell whether, human traders are in panic or are in sort of the, massive greed. I believe that's not difficult to identify. But what the AI, is good at is they don't have to be immersed in those kind of emotional swings. They can make much more calculated kind of move and to take advantage of those swings.
But what happens when an unsupervised learning trading algorithm is faced with something entirely new, like a sudden policy change, Winston? Might it just stop and observe for a period of time?
Well, I don't know what will happen, but this is also a learning process. Humans are learning it too. You will have to take some time and look around and see how other people are reacting to it, and read various kind of different, analyses, and then come up with your own decision what you can act on it. AI is largely imitating a human, thinking process. I believe that is what AI is going to do. They are just going to do it in a much faster and much more effective way. So I think it's there must be a variety of kind of solutions, AI solutions, and they will have to compete on the marketplace and to tell which way is a more effective reaction.
Also recently the SoftBank Group and Saudi Arabia's main sovereign wealth fund said they actually together raised over $93 billion to invest in technology sectors such as AI. And AI and robotics, those are very fascinating new things to invest in, but how to choose quality projects in these fairly new sectors? And why is it? It seems for me that it's very difficult to commercialize the technological breakthrough of AI.
I agree. It's very difficult. People are exploring the different options. Well, I don't know what is the best way to choose the quality project, but you have to, do trial and error. You have to do some commonsensical, analysis, such as is it a large enough market, and is the team, the founder team, capable enough to take advantage of these opportunities, capable to deliver the technology required for the problems that they are going to solve. So all those kind of common sense problems, questions, you have to check the boxes. And then they are, after doing all those kind of work, it's still a lot of the, luck in it. And sometimes, even if you have exhausted all the, due diligence, you've done the best due diligence in the world, and there's still an element of uncertainty and luck involved in the success of investment projects.
So, Yili, your company actually has some technology for AI, but do you think it's very difficult to commercialize the technological breakthrough of AI and make it, profitable for business?
Yeah, sure. So AI itself is just a technology tool. It's not even a product, so it's still not a business. So for our company at Mobile or in Chinese, we are actually focusing a lot on applying the technology to making real consumer products that you sell. For example, we had a smart watch called the Stick Watch. It's a very good sale both in China and US. Also, we had a smart connected car device which will put in the car and that enable people to talk to the device and get information and service. So definitely, I think for AI companies, they really need to find out a use case or user scenario, either a consumer product or like business product to clients to solve real problems. Then we make money.
So, Yili, what kind of challenges do you face when you go for financing or something for the company?
Well, so far no big deal. So far we're pretty lucky, so it's not difficult for us every time we go out to look for money, but there are institutional investors, also strategic investors. They want to leverage our technology products to.
What do they focus on when they choose a projects, the AI projects to make investment in?
Also, for financial investors, they are more focused on our future return. For strategic investors like Google and Volkswagen China, they are aiming to use our technology products to incorporate our technology into their product portfolio, and then develop a new product and service that benefits much better, differentiate their current product with other competitors. That's our value, and they really value that.
So, Winston, it's been suggested that in next decade, more than 50% of the jobs in the world will be replaced by robots with AI. But what kind of jobs are they? Can AI also take the jobs of higher skilled workers? And how can we human beings balance between this kind of technological advance and breakthrough and a healthy and real economy and society?
Well, it's going to be very difficult. The best analogy I often refer to is, during the Industrial Revolution, when that happened, before that, most of the 99% of the human beings were working in fields, in agriculture. They were plowing the fields and trying to raise crops to just their family. And then, the Industrial Revolution happened. Almost like 99% of the people migrated from agriculture into cities, into factories, into industries, many different kinds of industries. And I would argue that AI is going to have a major impact on human society, almost as much as the Industrial Revolution once had on the agricultural society. And there are a lot of jobs that will be created. We have no idea yet. But it's going to send a major psychological shortwave over the entire population, and a lot of the so-called skilled workers, their jobs will be replaced by the AI, or will be done by AI in a much better way. But they are also optimistically, I believe that there will be a lot of new jobs that we could not imagine at this moment will be created. But there's hopefully what the collectively human beings are wiser. They should come up with some kind of solutions, hopefully to make this process less traumatic and less turbulent, and so that as a human society, a majority of the population could migrate into a new mode of living, a new mode of working. What is that? I have no idea. I'm just hoping that it will come up.
So, Yili, how can we make sure that the robots with AI can be safe? Will it depend on our wisdom?
When you mean safe, you mean?
I mean, it's have a positive impact, because a popular theory is that human beings will be threatened, will be enslaved, or even wiped out by AI.
So my view is that the advantage and benefit that AI brings to the whole society will be much larger and bigger than the downside. Because the technology, we are the company, we are the people who are really doing the technology and product. We clearly understand that it's not there yet, although there are a lot of experts and visionaries say that someday it will be dangerous for AI to control human beings. But we are not seeing that. Today it's very at a very early stage, and we oftentimes you can have a lot of algorithm and protection solutions to prevent the machine to harm the people. So again, my view is that in a larger sense, AI will massively increase the productivity for specific country and industry, and it will benefit everyone. So it's just that another reason is just that although the total productivity and everybody will be better off, but the distribution of the benefits or the wealth are more likely to be uneven because the technology might be mastered, or only a few can use those technologies. They will have much larger share of the benefit. That's another maybe social risk.
Mm-hmm. So, Winston, as our other guests mentioned, AI is still at a very early stage. But how will AI change the future of human beings?
Yeah, this is a very contentious actually topic in a lot of this philosophical debate. Let's assume, I agree that AI is still in its very primitive stage. Let's assume AI fast forward into a stage where AI is extremely sophisticated and in an advanced stage. In theory, it can be used for evil things by some group of humans. That's for sure. But I'm more optimistic than pessimistic schools. The reason, you could one of the reasons, if you treat AI as a human being, let's say as a one sort of alternative group of human beings, and you could give them ideas. You could manage them the way that you manage human beings. Let's say even if humans give birth to another group of humans, and you cannot guarantee, you cannot make sure that all human beings are safe, right? And if we cannot make sure that our fellow human beings are safe, but this is still a function of society. I believe that there is some ways you can manage AIs. Give every one of them ID. If some you see some villain AI and they robots and set out to destroy something, and you could have the policing AIs that just going around check on everyone. I believe there is solutions even if we come to the extremely advanced stage.
Well, very interesting indeed insight and discussion for the AI development for today. So thank you, Winston Wang. That is Winston Wang, Managing Director of Chepstow Group Limited, and also thank you, Lin Yi Li, Vice President of Product Mobile Inc., Beijing.
The news in numbers.
It is well known that there are 4 great inventions of ancient China, namely the compass, gunpowder, paper-making, and printing. But a recent survey suggests that 4 of their modern counterparts are also making some waves around the routes of the Belt and Road Initiative. The poll by the Beijing Foreign Studies University shows that students from 20 Belt and Road countries are favoring these modern technologies in China.
High-speed railway.
The high-speed railways.
支付宝. Alipay is really helpful.
Malaysia could really use the technology in our payment system.
You scan it, you take the bike, you go to the Bristol, come back.
I have that.
Huaidi system because it's really fast.
Namely the high-speed railway, Alipay, bike-sharing apps, and online shopping platforms. In 2016, 1.5 billion trips were made by high-speed trains in China. Meanwhile, China has 450 million Alipay users, and almost 5 million people are using bike-sharing apps in the country. When it comes to sales volumes of online shopping, there's hardly any country that can compete with China. With China's going out policy being further implemented, these technologies are also heading overseas. So no matter where you are, you might sooner or later get to experience some of these Chinese-initiated technologies.
The news in numbers. Understanding China behind the figures.
You're listening to Zone with news and more on Linda Mills. And coming up in our Online Unleashed segment, where we'll talk about when in Rome, do like the Romans, or do foreigners allow themselves more abroad? And Finland is pondering scrapping school subjects. But now it's time for the Global Headlines Survey, where we take a look at headlines from around the globe. First up in Asia, Sri Lankans are bracing themselves for more rain after a round of flooding left 164 dead and 500,000 people displaced. And North Korea fired a short-range missile which landed in Japanese waters, the 3rd such launch in 3 weeks. Turning to Oceania, a historic summit in Australia saw more than 250 indigenous leaders meeting in Uluru to urge for the creation of a new formal body to represent indigenous peoples in Parliament. And Australia will increase its troop presence in Afghanistan by 30 military advisors following a formal request by the U.S. finally, on to Africa. In Burundi, married couples have until the end of the year to legalize their relationships as part of a government effort to reform morals in the country. And in Zambia, the United Nations is warning that many Zambians are at risk of becoming squatters on their own land as a result of illegal selling of chiefs' lands. In the Middle East, in Libya, the militant Islamist group that attacked the U.S. mission in Benghazi say they have disbanded after their leadership was wiped out by the Libyan army. And the world's most expensive footballer, French international Paul Pogba, tweeted a picture of himself on a pilgrimage to Mecca as he marked the start of Ramadan. Looking to Latin America, Colombia is struggling to help the tens of thousands of Venezuelan migrants who fled hunger and violence back home. And Manchester City are close to signing Benfica goalkeeper Ernesto Mores for £33 million. In Europe, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says that with the election of Trump and Brexit underway, Europe can no longer completely depend on the U.S. and the U.K. And British Airways passengers are facing a third day of flight disruptions as the airline tries to deal with the aftermath of a global computer system crash. Finally, in North America, the U.S. state of Mississippi, overnight shootings in 3 locations left 8 people dead, including a local deputy sheriff. Staying in the U.S., over $600,000 was raised for the families of the Seattle heroes who were injured or killed while defending a Muslim teenager and her friend from a white supremacist on a train. And that was the Global Headlines Survey. You're listening to Today with me, Linda Mills, and it's time for our Online Unleashed segment. Joining me in the studio are Wu Yo and